Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your tits.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along to the Melchester Odyssey. We're looking still at the 16th of June 1984 issue of Roy of the Rovers, which cost 22 pence. In Australia it was 60 cents. In New Zealand it was only 55 cents. In Malaysia it was $1.45. Now why Malaysia is on the front cover, what makes them special but above anywhere else, I do not know. But there it is. And we did the front cover and the beginning of the story last time, but we kind of ran out of time because we get sidetracked. So what's going to happen is... just at the end last time, a TV interviewer after Rovers had won the Cup said to Roy, Roy, it's been a long, hard and controversial season for you. You and your players must be looking forward to a complete break from football. A holiday in the sun. To which Roy says, holiday? You must be joking. I imagine the players at this point went, oh, fuck, what we're doing now.
God, what's he got lined
Gagging
up?
for a fucking holiday. We thought once he'd gone to Walford, that would be the end of all this shit.
I tell
What's
you
he got
what,
planned?
they're going to each other. If he fucking has signed us up for another cricket tournament, that is it. I'm walking. I don't care. I'll tell him to cancel my contract. I'll buy myself out of it.
I'm on the foot of the PFA.
Yeah, fuck. He can't make us stay again for another cricket tournament where we all get injured by those aggressive Australians, right? And we don't get a holiday, and he doesn't pay us. Plus,
we didn't get paid.
He pocketed a load of money from it. He said it was for charity, but he ended up working it so he kept himself. I'm just not doing that. I heard what you said, and you fucking are.
Whatever it is, you're doing it. I haven't even said what it is yet. You might like it. You don't know.
I won't, Roy. You always make us do things we hate.
We never like it.
Come on, cheer up, misery guts.
Here, have one of these tablets. He says, we're going after another trophy now. Oh, God. The Brit Air Indoor Six-a-Side Soccer Championship. Snappy title. Starting next Wednesday. Oh, God. But like we were saying last time, the Soccer Sixes, as it was called then, was just an
smashing
highlight of the season.
Better than 11-a-side, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And the following Wednesday, they are in some indoor sports arena somewhere. Melchester fans there, all with their banners and whatnot. Rovers! Rovers! Commentator says, it's like Wembley all over again. This splendid indoor arena is packed with Melchester supporters. 10 teams have entered the competition, but for some reason the arena is packed with Melchester supporters. The other 9 teams are not represented at all, because that's how the world works. There are 10 teams, and they will play off in 2 groups of 4. Now, hang on a minute. 2 groups of 4, 10 teams. Okay.
Checks out.
Rovers have by far the hardest group, obviously. The top 2 teams in each group will go through to the semi-finals. There's no explanation for the 9th and 10th team here. I don't know why they're there. Am I missing something here?
I don't understand why it's 4-a-side for starters. Because you said 6-a-side.
Yeah, but there's 4 teams in each group. But there's 10 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, when they said 2 groups of 4, I thought what? 4 players?
2 teams of 4. Yeah. That somebody will probably write in to the Roy Race talking in a couple of weeks. And he'll fucking shoot them down. So anyway, here come Melchester and their opponents. Hooray! And we couldn't have picked a better game for our curtain raiser.
Carford are traditional rivals, aren't they?
Who has ever said that
Curtain
in
raiser.
person, using their voice at a football match?
You know when the
it's
fixtures
the curtain
come out,
raiser.
you know when they announce the fixtures for the new season, you will
Yeah.
sometimes speak to your mate or WhatsApp him, won't you? Or it might be your son these days, and you go, "Oh, fixtures are out," and you do want to know what the first game is, but do you ever go, "Oh, are they? Who have we got in the curtain raiser?"
The curtain raiser. Who are we raising the curtain with this time?
So your son goes,
The
to you,
season's curtain.
"Dad, the fixtures are out," and you go, "Oh, great. Who's helping us raise the curtain?" Long pause at the other end of the phone. "What did you say? Who's the curtain raiser? Who are our opponents in the curtain raiser?" "Dad,
Who will be joining us pulling the ropes on the
Dad,
curtain?
are you feeling all right? Have you drunk some of that paint thinner again by mistake?" "I'm perfectly
Or
fine."
you'll just message him and just say, "The fixtures are out," and you reply, "Curtain raiser?" Question mark. What?
What, Dad? Shut up, Dad. You're scaring me.
But of course the tabloids will just use curtain raiser,
Of course,
carte
yeah.
blanche, and maybe even Sky Sports News will. I'm not sure. I think they probably would.
Let 'em, you know, I'm all for plain English, but at the same time, I think I'd miss some of these phrases if they disappeared completely.
Yeah. But let's not pretend that real people use
No,
them
let's
in
not
everyday
pretend that
scenario.
this is a normal part of everyday dialogue. This geezer who's playing for Carford City in the next caption looks almost precisely like Archie Buchanan.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've seen of him.
You've
yeah.
seen pictures of, well, you've seen, I only own one
have.
picture of Archie Buchanan. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is what he looked like. Although his hair was slightly bigger, Archie's. But what we're talking about is a sort of a slim man with curly dark hair and a dark moustache. But Archie's hair was slightly more bulbous. But
This
yeah,
guy looks like a cross between Souness and McDermott.
yeah, which was basically
Effective
Archie's
Liverpool
vibe.
duo.
Archie's vibe.
So we couldn't have picked a better game for our curtain raiser. Melchester versus Carford City. Carford. One of the players drew an excited buzz from the crowd. And this is the player indeed. Carl Hunt. Now that's just shorthand for cunt, isn't it? Well, let's not beat around the bush here.
Very
Carl
difficult.
Hunt.
Very difficult name to say if you're a broadcaster. Sort of name that even the likes of Steve Ryder would read and think, this is going to be a challenge.
This is a minefield for the rider.
Yeah. This is a
You have to
challenge even
concentrate
for...
very hard when it comes to this.
I'm going to have to call upon all of my powers as a broadcaster to not say the word cunt.
I spend an increasing number of my hours trying to perfect some of the foreign names that come over here, but this is a curveball.
Couldn't be more plain
to
English.
basics.
And yet it represents a colossal banana skin. This is the sort of
Carl
thing that even the elite, your riders, your Elton Wellesbys, are going to look at with complete trepidation. I'm going to practice by staying up all night saying Carl Hunt over and over again in the mirror of myself. Carl Hunt, Carl Hunt, Carl Hunt, Carl Hunt, Carl Hunt, cunt. Fuck! Are you coming to bed, darling? No, I'm not.
No!
Not until I have mastered this cunt's name.
Bring me another coffee. That's going to be an all-nighter.
You've woken up the dog and the children. Well, they should fucking understand that what Daddy does takes a lot of fucking effort.
Is it another name from Yugoslavia you need to learn? No, it's just Carl fucking Hunt. How hard can it be?
Well, quite. You've got no fucking idea what my job involves. You've always reacted snootily just because your father wanted me to go into accountancy. Well, that's not me.
This is like verbal bomb disposal. If I cut the wrong wire, we're all dead.
Oh, but your dad, your father, who you put on a fucking pedestal, thought I should have gone into fucking accountancy. Well, I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, I'm not a man of numbers. I'm a man of poetry.
So there's the fans, and they said, Carl Hunt, I'm a bit surprised Carford included him in their squad. Aye.
Yeah, with a name like that.
There's been a rumour he hasn't been the same player since the Anderson incident. Sounds like a good name for a film. Coming soon.
Yeah. It's a film from the 70s with Lee Marvin in it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Lee Marvin playing a hitman, a reluctant
Lee
hitman.
Marvin. A character goes around wearing leather gloves all the time. The Anderson incident. Warner Brothers. Certificate X.
Really weird electronic jazz music opening title sequence that lasts for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we just watched Lee Marvin's character going about his business, like having his breakfast or something in his flat.
You just see more and more titles come up in really like fucking elaborate jazz typeface.
This is going to be the Mandela effect thing. People are now going to think they've seen a film called The Anderson Incident.
Yeah.
They'll talk about it online.
We might write it up and put it on the turbo.
Yeah. We won't, obviously. The Anderson Incident, and what's he called? Carl Hunt is warming up, hitting a couple of shots past the keeper into the very small goal. Look at the little goal. He looks all right to me. It's no wonder the City fans call him the Hunter. Not the cunt. Kick off. If he's got a player to mark, he'll track him around the park like a hunter stalks his prey. Fucking hell. He sounds like a fucking cunt. Hence the name. And now he's stalking Rob Richards. And indeed he is. Rob Richards is there wearing the number 5 shirt in this six-a-side tournament. And, but Hunt goes in on Richards and just, it's pathetic. Richards just dances past him and Hunt goes, Good grief, I've never seen the Hunter make such a half-hearted tackle. He must have slipped.
The Hunter's... I'll tell you what, in a minute, the Hunter's going to become the fucking hunted. Mind you, I would have liked to have seen him fucking break that cunt's knee. Get him out of my fucking hair.
Would have done me a favour. I should have slipped him a couple £100. Got a job for you, Carl.
I can't be doing with that cunt for another season. Take him out of circulation. Yeah. You know what I mean.
It says, but Roy had other ideas. And Roy thinks Carl didn't slip. For some reason, the greatest midfield player in the country just didn't want to know. Wow. What is this all about?
I've got a feeling that he's unhappy and he might end up at Melchester next year.
God, that would be great.
They seem to suddenly be setting their focus on him, quite squarely. So I've just got a little feeling, and Roy's thinking, he's just referred to him as the greatest midfielder in the country. I'm thinking there's got to be a gap in central midfield anyway.
I can't even think who plays in central midfield for Melchester.
Who knows what any of their positions are?
Yeah, let's just avoid.
I think Blackie's centre mid.
He's like an attacking midfielder.
He gets a lot of assists.
There seems to be about 6 wingers in the team.
Yeah, and the only ones who defend are Vic Naylor and Duncan Mackay
and Vic Guthrie.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So there's about 5 defenders.
I said Naylor. No, I meant Vic Guthrie. He's a centre back.
Guthrie, Mackay, Noel Baxter. Maybe this is just what they need. So it says next week the Hunter versus the Super Brat. See what happens. So it took us an episode and a half to get through that, but it says marks out of 10. I'll give it a 9.
9 for me. I was thrilled by the six-a-side tournament suddenly appearing.
Yeah. So we'll move on straight away to the 23rd of June 1984, which I have in my right hand. The centre spread sign please player is advertised on the front cover. It's a Leicester player who whose name I found curious at the time, but enjoyable. It was Steve Linex.
Linex sounds like it could be. Is Linex, if it was Call My Bluff, you'd go, is it A type of domestic wildcat, found mostly in Scotland? Is it B, a vehicle insurance firm based in the West Midlands? Or is it C, a new type of super absorbent kitchen roll being heavily advertised on ITV?
I was going to say heat-resistant glassware.
Yeah.
Also for use in the kitchen. Pyrex.
Great for your casseroles. Also, great for drinking a cup of tea from, if you get a Line-X cup.
Plus, as well, when you're of that age, it also reminds you slightly of the forbidden word sex.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? S. Line-X.
Steve Line-X sounds like he could be a character on one of those, on a show that was written and produced by, what's his name? Who's our Glenn A. Larson.
Steve
Line-X was an elite pilot in Vietnam until his plane was shut down over Saigon. Presumed dead, he lived in underground tunnels in Southeast Asia for the next 18 years before re-emerging as the Line-X, super soldier and gun for hire.
Who could turn himself into an animal.
Yeah. Who has a special fast car, and the car can turn into an animal as well. And so can he. And he can do karate as well, and has a bionic eye.
Manimal was Glenn A. Larson, wasn't it? I think we've touched upon it before. Pretty sure. We need to look at Manimal at some point.
Yeah.
But I said that Steve Line-X, the name suggested sex, but if you look at him, the only kind of sex that Steve Line-X would be involved in would be kind of really unsavoury, unsettling.
In a caravan.
Slightly wrong kind of sex, isn't it?
Steve Line-X's Caravan, great indie band out of Leeds in the 80s.
Anyway, let's not dwell on Steve Line-X. 23rd of June 1984. Following their FA Cup final victory, Melchester Rovers were playing Carford City in a six-a-side tournament, and Roy Race was sharing the limelight with Carl Hunt, City's brilliant midfield dynamo. But Hunt made little impression on Rob Richards, and Hunt is on his arse as Richards dances away from him. Well, I'll be! Young Rob just skated past him. The Hunter must have slipped. Of course, Roy Riss suggests that he didn't slip and that his heart wasn't in it. Minutes later, Richards opened the scoring for Melchester into the tiny goal. Hooray! Old Carl will make them pay for that, you'll see, say the Carford fans. Well, seemingly not, because whatever he was, he's not anymore. He's a busted flush. And
he's lost his spunk. He's lost his spark. He's lost his mojo.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they used to call him a dynamo. Now he's a spunkless wonder. Carl Hunt, the spunkless wonder. That's what they're calling him.
I'll get up there and whisper that in his ear.
I saw
the second half.
I saw a cover from the 90s, like probably about 96, 97 it must have been, this morning, of Shoot magazine, right? It was someone had shared it on Twitter or something, and on the cover it had a picture of Juninho and Gianfranco Zola, who were both lighting up the Premier League at the time.
Yeah.
And so I got all the feels, all the Euro 96 feels from it. And do you know what the main headline was across them? They were the main cover image, and it said, "The Magical Midgets." And this was the mid-90s, which I thought by that stage, all those sort of jokes about political incorrectness are usually like 70s, maybe a bit 80s, but not the 90s. Magical midgets, you can't call them that.
That word was pretty much still
in circulation
around in the 90s. Yeah, I think it's only about the last 10 years that's
I mean, midgets. I've said midgets, like, of course, in the past. Maybe I'm just thinking too much of my 2023 head on, that it's now been outlawed, rightly so. And it was just surprising to see it splashed on the Shoot magazine.
Well, we were watching the Eurovision
last
weekend.
What about if we call them the Fantastic Freaks? Because they do look like freaks, don't they?
From that film, Freaks. Todd Browning's Freaks. They look like they're from that.
Boss, I'm not sure we can call them freaks. Why not? They are
tiny freaks.
They're like circus. Okay, why don't we call them the Great Grotesques? Because look at them. Let's be honest, they are grotesque little men. I mean, Gianfranco Zola shave his head, and he is the fucking dungeon master from that cartoon, isn't he? He's a grotesque. Don't get me wrong, great little player. Grotesque, though. He could fit right in a circus. Put that. No, we're going to go for magical midgets. Yeah, all right, fine, that sounds good.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, we were watching the Eurovision last week. Me and my daughter, one of the countries had one as part of their makeup. I think it was Moldova had one. And she said, it's a midget. And I said, you can't say that anymore. And she's really politically correct.
Yeah.
She's really politically correct. And she said, what? I said, no, you can't. It's little people now. She says, that's even worse.
What about dwarf?
That's patronising.
What about dwarf?
I think you can only say dwarf within the context of a pantomime. I don't think you can say it on a day-to-day basis.
I thought
they still have it in the pantomime title, don't they?
I thought dwarf was all right. Well, if we've got
one of my favourite ever memories was when Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was on at the Sunderland Empire.
Oh yeah.
And me and my mate Phil used to go drinking in the Dun Cow pub that's next door to the Empire Theatre.
Yeah.
After it finished, because the dwarfs would invariably come in.
Oh yeah.
And raise hell.
Did they?
With their alcoholic antics. They could put it away.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one time I was stood at the bar, and next to me, waiting for a drink and looking really miserable, just staring down at the bar.
Yeah.
Was one of the stars of the show, Ant McPartlin.
What? From Ant and Dec?
From Ant and Dec. This is when he was still PG and Duncan.
Right. Great.
And he was getting a pint in, and 10 feet up the bar, the fucking dwarfs were all clambering about on stools and frolicking and everything. And I just thought, this is not going to get any better than this.
That is.
If I ever become an artist, that's something that I'll render on the canvas.
I would have considered throwing myself off a building after that evening, in the spirit of it's never going to get better than this.
It's never going to get any better.
Dwarfs and Ant McPartland at the pub.
Yeah, that fella Jim will paint it on Twitter. People just say, hey, paint this, you cunt. And he does.
Yeah, he does it.
For some reason. It will be one of them, I think.
Jalapeño.
Did you see that clip of Ant McPartland at the coronation ceremony?
Look, I didn't know.
It was like someone's done, like they did that time to Michael Gove, and they did it to George Osborne, where you sort of like focus in on one individual's face, and it looks like they're, I think the kids call it rushing off their tits.
Refreshed.
Ant McPartland is like, and he's I mean, I love the bloke. Obviously, he's a fucking legend. They both are. And he's just sat there, and everyone else is chatting and schmoozing, and he's just staring into space, and he's going between having this massive manic smile, and then it immediately goes to a really sad frown, and then a massive magic smile, and then a really sad frown over and over again. Like he's practicing in front of a mirror.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. So, yeah, where are we getting that? Midgets, I don't know how that came about, but... yeah, as Roy watched City kick off again, Roy thinks the fans could be right, but I'm not so sure. For a start, I don't think that Hunt slipped. He seemed to hesitate just before he tackled Rob. Roy's got his detective hat on here. He thinks there's something mysterious going on, and Carl Hunter has the ball at his feet. Now, Carl, hit it! With 7 or 8 eyes in the word it from the Carford fans. And indeed he does. And it says, even Roy was startled by the sheer power of Hunt's shot. Roy's head spins. You can see the lines of motion as it spins. It's like Saturn's rings, almost. It's gone, wow, Roy thinks. Roy was startled, and so was Walter Williams, and it's gone straight in the back of the net, the tiny net. It's in, 1 each. Here's a phrase. Walter didn't even smell it.
Look at Walter, how shit he is in goal, though. He just puts his arms out like he's pretending to be like a child pretending to be an aeroplane.
This position is terrible,
He
isn't
looks
it?
like Jesus on the cross. I don't know about you, but I generally don't trust a keeper in tracksuit bottoms either.
Well, they had to then, didn't they? Because it was AstroTurf.
Still.
And AstroTurf would burn the skin off your body.
Well,
if you dived about in it
that's
back
part of the job.
That's part of the peril.
Mm.
Yeah. What a goal. Oh, here it comes. No wonder his name has been linked with Melchester. There it is. There it is. Hunt has rejected his new contract, so he's open to offers.
Fucking knew it.
Get a load of him. In the second half, Hunt's speed and power continue to carry the fight.
I will leave that thought with you. Now watch me score this goal past your pathetic young wisp of a goalkeeper. Smash!
There. That's worth an extra £30 a week, I think you'll find.
Good that young whippersnapper got out the way of the ball, because if he had stood in front of it, it would have taken off his cock balls and arsehole.
And rearranged them and replaced them.
I've done it before,
His arsehole would be on his front. His balls would be where his arsehole is now, and his cock would just hang down like a useless ornament.
No one wants to see that, Roy. No one.
He would be shitting out of his front, standing up.
Well, actually, Carl, you're wrong, because I would pay to see that. So next time, let's hope it happens.
The only thing that would be better would be if it was a fucking midget doing it.
Carl, I am thinking of signing you, but let me ask you something. How morally flexible do you perceive yourself to be on a scale of 1 to 10? When you join Melchester, you join more than a football club. You join the Roy Race
Association.
You join a family, an association, a brotherhood. And it's a brotherhood in which I'm very much first amongst equals. Or what I like to say, first among completely unequals. I'm the gaffer. There are various things I will call upon you to do that are not strictly football related.
To that I say, Roy, what are morals?
Great. This is music to my fucking ears, Hunty.
In the second half, Hunt's speed and power continued to carry the fight to Melchester. He's playing a different kind of game tonight. Aye, more skill and less physical contact. Shows how versatile he is. Oh, he's definitely signing for Melchester, this fucker.
Yeah.
Then, as Vic Guthrie broke up yet another Carford attack, here comes Carl. It's the Super Brat versus the Hunter. This is a good line. They'll hear the impact on the moon. Brilliant. What? Oof, says Hunt. What the? Guthrie just seemed to brush him aside. And then Guthrie plays it across to the left to Roy, who puts it into an open goal, because it seems the Carford goalkeeper is as clueless in this six-a-side format as Walter Williams was. And he found Roy. It's there. 2-1 to Melchester. Hooray! Full-time arrived a few seconds later. And one of Carford's players comes over and says, are you okay, Carl? Got 2 left feet tonight, eh? Though if Carl Hunt is the player we think he is, he should kick that fucking player's head in for that comment.
Careful how you speak to me, or you will end up with an asshole where your ears used to be.
I will liquidize you, humanly. I don't know what that means, but I'm saying it. Yes, must be these new boots I'm breaking in. Yeah, okay. But the City fans were happy enough with Hunt's performance. If it wasn't for the Hunter, City would have been thrashed. Apart from a couple of mistakes, he was brilliant. Well, one mistake gave away the winning goal, but okay. Roy kept a close eye on Hunt as he hurried from the stadium. Hello, says Roy. Looks like he's heading for the telephone. And he is indeed. He's heading for the telephone attached to the wall, and it's got one of those 1980s modern style see-through plastic covers over where you just stand and like a hairdryer in a hairdresser's.
Oh yeah,
that you would have over your
love
head.
those things. I think we looked into buying some once.
It's like a little helmet.
Yeah,
that you step into.
It's a nana helmet.
Beautiful.
It's just for nanas.
Very modern. And indeed he is. Hunt is on his way to make a phone call. It says Roy was right. I mean, Roy was right because, yes, he has walked over towards the telephone. There's no major deduction gone on there.
Hello.
But Hunt... I need 2 women, 45 minutes maximum.
2 different ethnicities. I don't mind which.
I need one from Europe and one from South America.
Yeah, they have to be different skin pigmentation. It's essential. It doesn't matter why. It just is essential to my needs.
What? No, they must not speak English at all.
No English. That is a deal breaker. Enough questions. Make it happen.
Make it so.
Roy's in the background thinking, I like this bloke.
I like this
guy. He knows his own mind, and I respect that. He's a hustler. He's a man who can make things happen. He executes
knows there's more to life than football.
He knows how to pick up the phone and get people fucking moving. He's not one of these cunts who sits round indulging in idle chat and dreaming. He's a doer. He's proactive.
He's not a fucking gardener like Nat Gosden. Fuck's sake.
He's not a fucking eater like Tubby Morgan.
Like Morton. So he's on the phone and he says, "Are you sure there's been no change in his progress? No change at all?" No, it's all right. Just say a friend called. Oh, mysterious. This is almost something from the Anderson incident film with Lee Marvin. Roy looks on pensively as Hunt walks away, his face serious. Whoever he was calling and whatever he was told, it seemed like pretty bad news. Continued later in this issue. Will we find out more? Where is it? There we are. 4th page of 4 for this story. Ben Galloway, the club's general manager, was waiting for Roy in the Melchester dressing room. God, fucking square-headed Ben Galloway.
Fucking hell, again. I thought he'd... we haven't seen Galloway in fucking ages. I thought he'd done the off.
He comes and goes, doesn't he? It was Sam Barlow who was the one who
he got the ump with Roy and just quit, didn't he?
Steam came out of his ears.
I'm fucking going.
Fuck this.
I'm going back to my sausages.
Yeah.
I don't need
sausages
these.
Don't talk back to me.
The one thing about being a butcher is meat doesn't talk back to you. It doesn't make demands about wages or rights or any of that other lefty bollocks. It just sits there until it's sold and then it gets eaten. And that's it. It's a very straightforward business. I came into football thinking I could treat players like cuts of meat, but it turned out to be a lot more complicated than that. And I've always said the biggest flaw in the human body is the brain. Without a brain, we'd just be like cuts of meat. The simple life. Of course, in Ben France, the butchers do sell brains. It's illegal here, and rightly so.
Ben Galloway says, "Good start of the tournament, Roy. But what about Carl Hunt? Really impressive, wasn't he?" Was he? Yeah. He certainly caused us some problems, Ben. It caused some problems in Europe too. With Hunt in our squad, I'm sure we'd stand a great chance of lifting the European Cup Winners' Cup next season. Also, Melchester mustn't have qualified. Wow, only the top team qualified.
They won the cup. Yeah, that was in those days. Just the FA Cup winner went in the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
And UEFA Cup was if you finished second and third. And the European Cup was just if you finished first. It was neater, cleaner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it truly was a Champions League, but without being a league. And there's no seeding. They just got drawn out of the hat.
So you could just have like Real Madrid versus Juventus in the first fucking round. Bang!
I remember Liverpool Aberdeen once in the first round.
Oh,
get on with it.
Alex Ferguson's Aberdeen.
Yeah. Anyway, what about it, Roy? I think Hunt would jump at the chance to join Melchester, and the money is there. All you've got to do is give the directors the nod. Are you prepared to nod right now, Roy? I will not nod. I will not nod at this point in time, Ben. I know, Ben. I know, he says. Later, as Roy left the stadium with Blackie Gray. Oh, they're both off to the discotheque. Look at them. Fucking hell. Look at Roy's jacket and his V-neck T-shirt underneath.
Come on, Blackie. Get your drug clothes on. We're going dancing.
We're going to dance till 9 a.m. Blackie, they're doing a few autographs for the fans there. They've probably just popped their pills now.
Pop them now.
Come up in about 20 minutes.
By the time we're at Cinderella's, we should just be coming up nicely.
Blackie says, just imagine Hunt playing behind our forwards, Roy. You've always been a keen admirer of him yourself.
Shut up, Blackie. You're killing me, buzz.
Stop talking about fucking football.
Sick of it. Don't even like football. I like boxing.
He says,
but most other sports, no. I've invented various sports in my head that I prefer, but they don't exist yet, so I just have to imagine them.
There's one called paddleminton. It's kind of like badminton, but you have like paddle boards that are strapped to your arms.
There's another one called...
Work in progress.
There's another one called horse fighting, which is, I mean, it is what it says. It's just you get horses to fight one another.
It's really simple.
You have to train them,
Harder
though.
than you think.
You have to train them to fight on their hind legs, because that's what makes it good. But then you have to antagonise them into rage as well.
I do that by wrapping an elastic band around their impressive penises.
And snapping it. That'll fucking get them going. All right, Roy. I see. I will eventually
Looks
make
like
these
it's gonna be
sports
an
a
interesting
reality
summer.
and sell television rights to the Americans. But until that day arrives, I will simply get by imagining them as I drift off to sleep.
So, if you do me a favour, keep it under your hat, Blackie. I can't throw anything for you, Roy.
Don't
Roy
tell
says,
your cousins.
"Carl."
You know what they're like. They're thieves. No offence, but they are.
I'm not saying that's a generalisation about that entire city, but...
No, but it
those
is
two
about
are very much
your
thieves.
family, the Greys.
Specifically.
They're not good people. They steal intellectual property all the time. One of them apparently stole some intellectual property off of Tom O'Connor and now has a hit put out on him. It was for a game show. Crosswits. Was Tom O'Connor Crosswits?
He was, yes.
Yeah, one of your cousins tried to snick
Great
the
show.
idea of Crosswits and sell it to an Irish television channel. But O'Connor found out, and now there is big trouble on the horizon for the Greys.
Now they're on the run. New identities, the lot. Do not cross Tom O'Connor within the city walls of Liverpool. Roy says, Carl Hunt is the greatest midfield player in the country, Blackie. Or at least he was. And as they get into Roy's Roymobile, Blackie says, what's that supposed to mean? Why, you even said Charlie Watson, our chief scout. In case nobody knows who Charlie Watson is. I don't know who Charlie Watson is. To watch him when Carford played Burndean last year. That's a very specific remembering from Blackie. That's the match in which Dean's Les Anderson was injured, says Roy. I'll never forget it, Blackie. Yes, we're being signposted the plot here, I think. And neither will Carl Hunt. That's why he played like he did tonight. I'm certain of it. What the heck are you talking about?
I think I'm coming up, Roy. I can't actually make out any of the words you're saying. Oh, I've got an... Roy, I've got an erection. Yeah, that'll be the
Is that
tablet.
supposed to happen?
Don't worry. Don't read anything into it.
It's nothing to do with me. Put it that way. And Roy says, as he always did, Charlie Watson made a video of the game so I could study it later. And now we're going to watch it again. Then, my old mate, maybe you'll see what I mean.
Look at Blackie's face.
What?
Look at Blackie's face. I've never seen him looking like
We go to
this.
Cinderella's.
I can't watch it now. I thought we were going dancing. I don't want to watch a television programme of Roy Hunt, Charlie Hunt, Carl Hunt. It's fucking Carl Hunt. We're going to watch him on a video. I don't bother.
The tablet has had an effect that I wasn't predicting, but all I want to do now is watch videos of Carl Hunt until the sun comes up.
Come on, we'll pick up some chips on the way. I'm not ugly. Yeah, we'll get some anyway in case Penny and the kids need appeasing.
What about my erection, Roy?
What if your Penny sees it and takes offence? Well, you put a scatter cushion on your lap like anyone else does in that position. Have you got scatter cushions? Of course I've got scatter cushions. I've got them coming out my fucking arse. The wife can't stop buying them. She's a fucking lunatic. I've told you, you're addicted to those things. You're scattering cushions. There's more cushions than there is sofa space.
Ah, God. She made a fucking nest out of them in the corner of the room. Some nights I sleep there. If I've been, out. That's it then. So, yeah, Blackie does look stunned. And it's hard to tell who's holding the steering wheel there between the two of them. It's Roy.
This is my favourite ever illustration of Blackie.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, you could blank out the speech bubbles there and put anything in there.
Yeah.
Make a t-shirt of it. Next week, someone must have used it and erased the Carford City match. Oh, that's going to be the videotape. Oh, someone's taped over that.
Right, someone's taped over your Carl Hunt video with a mucky movie.
Fine, we'll watch that instead.
Oh, bollocks. Oh, it's one of Paco Diaz's. You know, the ones with the horse that he used to bring over from Spain and make us watch in his garage. Yeah, he still sends me those once in a while. Sometimes customs pick up on them. And they don't actually make it all the way to my rig. But once in a while, one slips through the net.
Someone's taped over the porn film with an episode of Cat's Eyes with Jill Gascoigne. That's fine, we'll watch that instead. In a way, that's better than porn.
Oh, no, we were 5 minutes in and suddenly it went fuzzy, and the next thing I know, we were watching the Everly Brothers live in concert.
But they're really old and weird.
I thought they were estranged. No, they got back together.
Well, you can see there's still tension between them on stage by their body language.
Fucking hell, we're going to have to watch this then, aren't we? I hope they do Kathy's Clown. That's the only one I like.
Gossamer Wright's one of their favourites.
They'll probably end with it,
right? The biggest hits.
Well, get the fucking remote. I can't sit through all the other bollocks.
If they don't do Kathy's Clown, that Albert Hall crowd's going to go out feeling short-changed, Roy.
Okay, now, 1 minute you think you're going out to disco to take some tablets and pick up some fanny. The next minute you're sat here with a fucking deranged scouser watching the Everly Brothers reunion gig on a badly taped fucking Betamax.
With a bag of cold chips in your lap.
Life's full of surprises.
And a scatter cushion.
Life's full of surprises, Blackie, I'll tell you that.
Oh, so glad to be alive, Blackie. Life's good.
All part of life's rich tapestry, isn't it?
Sure is, right. So, 10 out of 10 for that?
10, easily, yeah.
10 out of 10 for that one. And we'll find out what happens when they sit down to watch the video together next week. Fuck me. Thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.